right, hello. Welcome to Otis Frampton Live again. Thank you for joining me. Why do I say things 3 times? I don't know. It's weird. Today is Friday, so that means it's a Makin and Talkin comics episode. So we are going to we're going to work on a couple of covers for the Patchwork Girl of Oz, which is a series that I'm working on. One second, please. All right. Yeah, I'm doing a little bit of work on 2 different covers. Just a little bit of work, maybe 20 minutes each, and then I'll switch over to talking about a comic that is also Oz related. I've been looking forward to talking about this one because it's one of my favorites. It's a great Oz adaptation, and it is not the Marvel one, in case you're wondering. In case you want a little preview of what's coming up. Not the Marvel one, but it's a good one. So anyway, this is the cover for issue 3. This is the layout that I came up with. It's a very simple layout, but I think it's going to be a good cover. This is... where is it? So this is where I'm at with the cover. This is where I've got it. I wanted it to have a very painterly look, very different from the other existing covers so far, at least. But kind of tapping into my experience working on how it should have ended as a background artist, character and background artist. So I'm not done with it, but I got a good start. So what I'm going to do today is kind of work on the smoke. Let's see. Let me grab my. Here's my layout lines. You can see how I got it working here. Let me rename this to background smoke. Now I'm going to start adding in. What's that? Create a new group here. We'll call this foreground smoke. The other cover that I'll be working on today, start that in about 20 minutes, is one that I've worked on previously. There it is. I was working on the pencils for it. Is that the right brush? Let me just check something real quick. Yeah, that's the right brush. And make sure I was working with the right brush here. Let's get rid of this. Just start over. So anyway, the next one I'll be working on, I worked on the pencils previously on the show. Having a little bit of a hard time with it. I actually started the layouts on the show, which is rare for me. I don't usually start something and show sort of the very beginnings, but I really wanted to in that case because I wanted to get to work on it. And I did a lot of work on it. I think I showed it off on another show recently where I showed how I went through 3 iterations, which is rare for me. Usually, I'm not much of an iterative artist where you do lots of different versions. Sometimes depends on how clearly I can see it in my head, but usually I have a pretty good idea of what I want. This one, the composition was getting the best of me for some reason. Whoa. Sorry. I don't know why, but I can hear my voice. Sorry if you were hearing a little feedback there. Many apologies for that. I think I didn't have the audio all the way down on my Mac. All right, here we go again. So anyway, the composition was really getting the best of me, and I wanted a certain look to it. I'll talk about this later when I get to the actual cover, but in the end, I just wasn't going extreme enough with the sort of angle of the environment, so to speak. You'll know what I mean when you see it. But once I made the foreground environment in the piece really sort of extremely angled, then it worked. And it all came together. And I've already actually started inking it to some degree, but today I'll actually be working on finishing the pencils that I hadn't finished yet. So if you're wondering why did you start inking it before the pencils are done? Well, sometimes I work on whatever is ready. Sometimes if I need to warm up, just kind of get my hand loose to work on something, I'll jump in and ink something that might not be completely finished. And that's the case with this cover. Not this cover, the cover I'm talking about that I'll be showing later. But some of it's already inked. And just because of the nature of print schedules, I have to be ahead on covers. And I'm also considering on the back of each issue having a little graphic showing the current cover and the next 5 covers and their release dates. I really liked that when I saw my pal Rob Guillory do it for his series Farmhand. I thought, well, that's cool. It tells people what to expect. But that means you gotta be ready. You know what I mean? So if I want to do that, I gotta be 4 covers ahead for each issue to have 5 covers shown at one point. Because that'd be neat to be so far ahead. What am I doing? Oh, that's why. Okay. Just trying to figure out where my layers are. There we go. No, don't want to do that. Too much. Go back. There we go. Okay. Anyway, if you're in any of the chats on Instagram, YouTube, X, Facebook, or Rumble, actually not Facebook, I'm not monitoring Facebook. Sorry, Facebook. But if you're on Instagram, I'm sorry, not really watching X either. So, okay, Instagram, YouTube, or Rumble. If you want to chat with me, I'm watching those chat rooms. I apologize to the other ones, but I only have so much screen real estate on my max screen to monitor these things. Maybe someday I'll have a dual monitor setup. That'd be nice. But so far, I'm pretty happy with how this cover's turning out. I had originally planned to attempt to paint this one in VR using a VR painting app, and I couldn't find the time to sort of master the tools for the app before I had to get it working. And I'm like, I gotta get going on it. So it is what it is. Maybe someday I'll be able to get in there and do a cover that way, because that'd be really cool. I'd love to be able to say I painted a comic cover for publication in VR. Sorry, I'm trying to find something here. That's weird. Having a little bit of a layer issue. I'll just fix it this way. I need to lay. Oh, that's why. Okay. I was doing the wrong layer. Layer management is so important. Oh, I'm missing it again. There we go. I don't want to do that. This is what you're going to get, folks, when I'm working on certain things live. Oh, I don't want to do that. There we go. Just trying to make these a little, there we go. That's better. I'll go tweak this stuff later, but it works better for me. Okay. Now let's add some shadow to these guys. Well, let's use the right brush. Probably gonna lower the opacity on this, but I just want to get a little bit of shadow going. That's not what I wanted to do. Why do I keep doing that? Why do I don't use smudge too much. Maybe my aim is off. All right. I need a little bit. Oh, that didn't do anything. Okay. All right. Well, you got to see a little bit of that. That was. I need to do some layer management for this before I do more work, but pretty happy so far. It's starting to look the way I want it to look. After I get everything painted in and do some layer adjustments, it'll be a little bit more vibrant. That's for sure. It looks really, doesn't look very vibrant on the video when I look on the monitor here. Much more vibrant the way I'm seeing it. Turn the saturation up a little bit. But I think it's going to be a good cover when all is said and done. All right, so let's jump over to this cover, which is issue 5's cover. I'm actually almost done with the first 5 issues covers, and you know, I can actually show you something else real quick just to show you what I was talking about here. So here's the work in progress for the back of each issue, and there's going to be a little thing down here. Possibly I might have to move this up. I haven't decided if I want to put it in yet, where it's going to show. Do I have it? Nah, it's whatever. Anyway, it's going to be I haven't finished painting the frame, but it's going to be a golden frame with Oz there, and each back of each issue is going to show the next issue, and then maybe also the next 4. We'll see. I'm not sure yet. I'm still working on the overall approach that I want to do for sort of all the extra stuff that goes into doing your own series. So anyway, here's where I'm at with this so far. And if you here, I'll turn this off. Turn this off too. And that here's where I ended up with the nope, sorry. The basic, oh, actually the cat needs to be in there. Sorry about that. It's a mess. Anyway, it was an extreme angle on this where they're sort of dangling. Where is it? I think that I was here. Yeah. Was I here? I do apologize. I'm trying to figure out where I left off with the pencils. That's what happens when you there we go. Let's call this pencils 1. That's what happens when you work sort of out of order. Sometimes just being able to keep organized when you're doing an indie comic, even one that is going to be published, you know, to some degree. You really gotta. It's an effort in management a lot of the times. Luckily, I've done it before, and so I'm not too freaked out. Done it many times before. I'm not too freaked out about making it work. But when you're oh, I screwed that up. That's why it looked. I was like, why did that look so long? When you're doing your own thing, you're responsible for all your own stuff too. You know, pretty much. Even when you have a publisher in your corner to some degree. I just saw somebody recently post about how they're complaining that the publisher should handle all of the promotion for you. Oops, that's not right. Is that right? Sometimes I gotta look at my own reference. Sorry, hold on 1 second. And I understand that attitude, and I probably thought that way before myself. So, yeah, she only has 1. Why am I looking at it like that? Jeez. But it's not realistic. you really should be prepared, especially these days, to handle a lot of the promotion yourself. You got to have an online presence. You got to have a lot of stuff going on, and be organized and be ready if and when, more likely when, the publisher doesn't step in and take care of everything, because it's more than likely that you're going to have to do that. Even if you have a publisher, don't expect everything to be done for you. That way you won't be disappointed, and you'll have some degree of control over how things are promoted. Okay, I think I can turn that layer off now. Go back to this. I want to finish. But I've been involved with enough things now that I know that it's imperative that you get out there and promote your own work, because ultimately you're the only one who's going to do that. I don't mean it like that. I mean you're going to be the best advocate for your work, so you might as well try to control some of it. And that's actually a good way of looking at it. Control. I kind of like having that control, which is one reason I kind of like being with Image, because I get to promote myself the way that I want to. I get to interact with my readers the way that I want to. I don't want it there. It's an unfortunate reality for some people, because we comic creators, we are not the most outgoing or social in general. I'm not saying everybody, I'm saying in general. I know I'm not saying that I am. I'm just gonna throw some grass in here. I'll deal with adding other stuff later. I want to have some grass like that. I want to add in some mushrooms, some fantasy mushrooms. There. So the idea is they're going down, this brick path that has become insanely steep. And then I'm going to have the mountains in the background. Some trees going up. There, that's going to be in the far background. There's going to be some clouds kind of coming down here too. All right, so we got the basics penciled in there. Get rid of that. Let's turn this down. Probably going to add another layer of pencils for certain areas, for certain details. But that's a good place to start from. There's certain areas right away where I want to touch up. One thing that I found that's fun about designing covers, which is it's a whole skill set in and of itself sometimes. Oh, the camera angle looks weird. looks off. Let me just fix this real quick. Sorry, I think it's a little skewed. There we go. All right, sorry about that. It's a whole separate thing. It's a lot of fun though. Sometimes it's frustrating and challenging, but most of the time it is fun to sort of figure out how you want your covers to look. And when you're the one who's doing all the designing, it means you get to make all the choices, which is kind of nice. Oh, I gotta erase that because that changed. I don't plan on doing any. Current plan, I should say, is to not do any variants. I did variants for Oddly. Oh, by the way, I'm discussing a series here that has not even been announced yet. I'm about to solicit issue 1 this weekend, actually, for the Monday due date. So you're kind of seeing me talk about things that haven't even been just announced yet. I've been doing the comic, or had been doing the comic. I haven't posted to it in a while because I've been so busy working on it. But I've been doing the comic as a newsletter exclusive for my newsletter readers. But in fact, I need to put out a newsletter informing everybody about that. Things changed recently, and now it's going to be a comic. A proper published comic. And I didn't think that was going to be the case at first. It just sort of happened. I forgot to change that. Just sort of happened one day. Kind of offhandedly pitched it and was surprised by a positive response. Because I had, a certain amount done, the same as I had with Oddly, and I was like, I wonder if they'd be interested in this. And I was like, and I heard a yes back, which was very surprising to me. Pleasantly surprising. Because I really love this book. I'm really happy with how the adaptation is going, and I hope that Oz fans and non-Oz fans will find something to like about it. I've sort of hit a groove with my work on this series, which is it's a nice feeling. I feel like I know the characters pretty well. And it's a funny thing. We kind of fall in love with the characters. Whoops. Gotta match that up. I mean, I was already sort of in love with these characters in this story. It's one of my favorites from the Oz books. I need to extend that. Oh, I'm going to erase that because I need to change it. Sorry, I'm going to turn this around. I know it can be frustrating sometimes having the canvas flipped around when you're trying to watch what people are doing. anyway, if you sign up for my newsletter, which you can find in all the links, wherever you are, you'll probably find a link to it on my socials. I will be making an official announcement, probably to my newsletter subscribers first, before anybody else hears about it, because I need to let them know why I'm taking it off the off the Substack. And also thank everybody for their support. But whoops, looks like what I did there. See, I was inking ahead of myself. I shouldn't have done that. Like I said, I never expected this to go to print with a publisher. It was always my intention to sort of self-publish it if I ever did do a Kickstarter. But I'm very happy with. Why did I do that? Yeah, see, that's what you do when you start inking things before it's ready. You place shadows in places where they don't belong. But yeah, it's gonna be. I'm very happy about it. I've only told a few people that this is happening as a sort of way of explaining. This is why I'm kind of non-existent as a person right now. I'm working to finish some stuff so that I can have it ready. Whoops. What did I just do? Wrong layer. Have it ready to go when the time comes. There, just making sure I didn't screw that up. It was originally going to be coming out in December, but it switched to January of 2025. It's better to start with the new year anyway, for a lot of reasons. It's better just to start there. Oops, that's not right. Let's fix that. Oh, was I doing it again? Oh my god, what's wrong with me? I thought I selected that layer. Jeez, I'm so sorry. I hate having to do this. Here's what I'll do. I'm gonna lock that layer so I don't make that mistake again. Jeez. Sorry about that. Anyway, like I was saying, it was originally going to be coming out in December, right before my birthday, which would have been nice, but I'm glad that we went with a January release. Like I said, there's many reasons why having the series start and be mostly, have most of its first content come out in 1 year, as opposed to first issue at the end of 1 year and then the rest of it in another year. Sometimes that can cause problems. Okay, let's get up here. I really wanted her hand to be right at the dot here, holding on to the blades of grass that she's using to support herself. That's one of the things that's fun about cover designs. You can do stuff like this when you're really controlling how things are going to work. Integrating the title into the artwork. I mean, I don't always get to do it, but I think I did it pretty well with the first issue's cover, where they're all sort of dangling off. Let me show that real quick. Oh, I guess I can do it this way. This cover, I like it so much that I was originally going to have the trade paperback versions. There's going to be 4 trades when the series is done. I was originally going to have a different design for those that all sort of match the way that I do with Oddly Normal. But that first issue's cover was such a powerful graphic. I even have it as a banner for my conventions now, and it's so, I'm so happy with it that I'm like, I think I need to use that for the first book's cover. I think it's too strong not to use. I asked my wife for her advice. She's like, yeah. It's just the mock-ups I did for the other versions that I had just weren't very strong. I was kind of using another. I was looking at other like popular kids graphic novel series and sort of using one of those series as like a starting point to guide me towards what might be a good way to go, and it wasn't working, and that should tell me that I need to go my own way. I should always just figure out what works best for me, and not try to ape somebody else. But that first issue's cover, it's got a lot of charm and energy, and I didn't want to lose that. And I couldn't think of anything better. You know what I mean? Maybe that speaks to my limitations. I don't know. But I'm happy with it. I think it's gonna be good. It's already on my banner, so why not just lean into it, you know? This cover for issue 5 is sort of similar to that first cover, because it's got a similar sort of vibe, but a little more, in story. In fact, I'm probably going to use this image as in the trade. It won't be the first page of the 5th issue, because it's the cover. But I think I'm going to reuse it as a trade, a page in the trade, I should say, which is something that I'm going to do a couple of times. Reuse cover images as actual pages, get some double use out of them, and sort of beef up what am I trying to say? The page count. Getting close to finishing up here. Sorry I didn't get any inking done on this one, but I really need to finish these pencils and get a sense of where I'm going to place certain things before I keep going. But that said, I got the pencils done anyway. back here. We have some plates sticking out there. It really worked to get the get the stairs there, so that it just, framed the credit. It's another thing I really wanted to make work. All right, I think that's. Oh, let me just finish one thing, and then I'll move on. There. All right. I get to ink that thing. Oh, well, I gotta do the background pencils, but pretty happy with how it's working out. And then, so the first page is gonna be this, where you're gonna see the steepness. I might angle even more now that I know how steep I want it to be, but it's gonna show all three characters walking down the mountain here. But in the trade paperback, the cover will be the first page, so that'd be fun. All right. So, let's keep this up for a second. That's the Makin comics part of today's show. For the next 15 minutes or so, I'm going to be talking about comics. I'm talking about a very specific comic that, like I said earlier, is Oz related. And I want to make sure that I get this right. So the comic I'll be talking about is, I wish I could show the whole thing right now, but it's an adaptation of Wizard of Oz, and the writers were David Chauvel and Enrique Fernandez. And I know it's a terrible image right now. I'm actually going to be switching over from showing it in physical form, but I wanted to show that, yes, I do own it. Just get rid of that. Bring up Chrome. Is it still there? It is still there. Okay, so the way I'm going to show you pages from this comic is via his webpage, the artist's webpage, Enrique Fernandez. I highly recommend visiting this artist's website. He is amazing. Yeah, and also, do yourself a favor and give him a follow on Instagram. I'm pretty sure it's on Instagram. I follow him, but I don't think he posts much. I could be wrong about that. But he's done a lot of comic work. But this is the one that put him on my radar, obviously. And it came out, I think, it was originally published in Europe. And it was published in 2006 in the States by Image Comics. And I think that's around the same time that the Marvel series started. I could be wrong about that, but they started around the same time. And if you've heard me talk about my desire to do an Oz comic adaptation, you've heard me talk about those two Oz adaptations and how they sort of put the kibosh on my plans to someday adapt an Oz comic. My own series, Of the Normal, is very influenced by the Oz books, movies, comics, all the Oz stuff. The novel Wicked. I love the novel Wicked. Big influence. Anyway, this comic series is beautiful. The artwork is beautiful. Enrique Fernandez is just an amazing illustrator, and the way he illustrates the Oz book, I wonder if I can flip through. I can. Really, really, really beautiful painted pages. He's got a bunch of them here, obviously, on his website. You can see. Great stuff. And when I saw this and I saw Marvel's adaptation by Eric Shanower and Scotty Young, I basically told myself, well, I won't be doing that, I guess. It wasn't until many years later, after I kept drawing Oz characters in my free time, and I said, you know what, I think I need to pull the trigger on this. I think I really want to do an adaptation of the 7th book, which is, the Marvel series stopped at book 6, and I thought, well, that's a good place to start. I love that book. It's like my second or third favorite book in the series after the first 2. So I was really happy that was sort of, a place where I could pick it up. But I have always come back to those two to look and see what they did, so that I didn't, I didn't step on their toes too much. There's only so much that you can do to change the imagery of Oz. It's so well known, and it's been done so many times in so many different mediums that there's bound to be some overlap. But God, I love the way he paints the scarecrow. You know, just really sort of floppy. Where is that? No, not that. I mean, look at the sort of minimal use of any color other than the yellow and the blue. It's really, really well done. This panel, I've looked at this panel so much. The lighting on it is really beautiful. So anyway, he I only have the first book. Well, they republished the entire book, and it has this as the cover. This is the European version of the cover. I can't see it very well, but apparently it looks like it was published in different volumes. That Image just printed completely. It looks like 3, I guess, 3 books. Really beautiful stuff all around. This Emerald City is just gorgeous. And if you put this side by side with the way Scott Young did it, I mean, there's gonna be overlap. There's only so many things you can do differently. I still haven't decided how I'm gonna portray the Emerald City in my book, because the characters eventually get there. There's a lot of overlap. I have done a lot of work designing all the Oz characters over the years, and that's one of the reasons why I even embarked on this, is because I was like, God, I love drawing these characters. Anyway, so one thing I wanted to talk about, especially with regard to showing you this through his website, is he posts the pencils for a lot of the pages, and this is really terrific. Getting to see sort of behind the scenes, to see how the pages started out. I mean, I'm sure these are the finished pencils, but it's still really great to be able to look under the hood on these comics and see how they began, and then also look at how they ended up. Look at this page especially. I love his tornado image here. Makes it tall so that it enhances the length of the tornado. And then if you look at the actual end image, really beautiful. It's really soft in the background, really soft painting, and then it gets more sharp as you get closer, so to speak. I love that. Really love it. But it's great. It's great seeing under the hood, getting to see how he works. It's really nice stuff, and he does that throughout his website too. Lots of under the hood stuff. But anyway, I really recommend picking this up. I love this page too. He goes into sort of here. He starts in the sequence where the flying monkeys tell the story of the magic hat, which isn't in the movie. So if you've only seen the movie, you don't know what I'm talking about. But he goes into this sort of storybook style, which is really great, really great. God, I love that. Really cool. And then back into his normal style. It's so beautiful. This is not a style that I could work in long term. I actually tried it once and it was like, I can't do that. But one reason why I wanted to show you this today is because of how I'm working on the cover for issue 5, which is sort of a painterly look, and it reminded me of the beautiful graphics of Enrique Fernandez. Like I said, check out his website. It's enrique-fernandez.com. ENRIQUE-FERNANDES.com. And I know for sure he's on Instagram. I don't know if he's posted much on Instagram lately. He had been working on a comic. I wonder if I can find it. Let's see if I can find it real quick. Not this. Where is it? I think it's this. No, that's not it. Oh, but these are beautiful too. He did this sort of sci-fi. Oh, look, more behind the scenes stuff. Really cool. But he did a Viking like one. Oh, this one. This is it. This is the one that I was watching his progress on, and it's just so beautiful. Look at that. Really beautiful work. Oh. And then again, he's showing you behind the scenes. Really cool stuff. It's great seeing. I love seeing process. I sometimes when artists don't share their process online, I wonder, why aren't you doing that? You know, it's so helpful to people who are up and coming and want to see, you know, how things start out and how rough things can start out. It's very important to see that the pros start messy too. You know, things aren't always perfect. Anyway, EnriqueFernandez.com. Please check out his work. It is so good, so good. His Oz work is phenomenal, but the rest of it's really great too. And that's all I have to talk about today for comics. I wanted to show you one of my favorite Oz comics, Oz adaptations. I hope that someday someone enjoys my Oz adaptation as much as I enjoy this and the Marvel stuff. So that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching. I'll be back Monday with another Makin and Talkin comics. In the meantime, please like, share, subscribe, all that great stuff on Instagram, YouTube, Rumble, Facebook, and X. And have a great weekend, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. Take care.